Let's talk about the political ramifications of this and much more. Welcome back. The veteran Republican strategist, contributor at Ricochet, and the man who, if he thought he might slip onto the Donald Trump Christmas card list this year, has really allowed himself to become delusional. And we say that with all smiles. Rick Wilson is back on the hard line. Hey, Rick, let's talk here first of all about what has been happening at Fox. Everybody's talking about this right now. Look, Fox has been the Republican cheerleader for decades, and they have been directed by Roger Ailes. How do you think this will affect their standing and maybe even affect the Republican Party, who gets a lot of publicity from Fox?
Well, it certainly is a question that conservatives are asking themselves this evening, because Fox is a key part of the conservative media ecosystem, and Roger Ailes is the architect of Fox as we know it today. And whether that continues in the same exact vein without Roger's guidance is a really open question right now, and I think a lot of folks are wondering what the landscape's going to look like if the stable of folks that he has built there don't operate under the same guidance he's given them for the 20-some very successful years that they've been in play as a part of this media landscape.
It's interesting, though, that we have seen a lot of conservatives turning against Fox of late, basically saying that they no longer get behind conservatives as much as they did. Look, their ratings are still very good, but you've still got that erosion there that happens. I'm getting the sense that maybe even the Murdoch children have said, well, look, things have got to change a little bit here because we're entering a new era. Things are different. People are getting their news from different platforms these days. It's not like the old broadcast like it used to be in networks, whether it's regular or cable television. So maybe we need a change and need to get younger and become even more aggressive. What do you think?
Well, that is certainly one of the things that I think is a demographic time bomb with Fox that they've been cognizant of for some time now. They recognize that their audience is getting older every year, and their audience is going to hit a wall here soon where they're not watching anything, much less television, and so they recognize they're going to have to make some changes. I think in the presentation and some of the content. I don't think that necessarily means they walk away from conservatism, but I think it means that you may end up with some shows that are demographically designed to pitch a little younger, and they have some products in the stack like that, like the Five and others. But right now, the evening audience for Fox is in their late 60s, early 70s on the average night. And that's something that just as a corporate proposition, you have to look ahead and you have to say, where are we going to be in 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, and adjust accordingly.
Isn't that what they and others have to understand, quite frankly, Rick, is that the audience needs to get younger because they're dying off?
Pretty much.
And that's the way things are changing in broadcasting right now. By the way, $40 million in a severance deal, not bad. And by the way, according to Fox, he has not been fired as of yet. They say that he is still at his desk and still working. Let's you and I get to work about a couple of other things here. Rick, as I said earlier, you're not going to be on Donald Trump's Christmas card list, especially after what you printed in The Hill today, because the title of your article is Trump and the Cult of Stupid. Rick, you're going to make a lot of enemies here right now because there's going to be a lot of conservatives and a lot of Republicans who are going to be coming square at you in the eye saying, how dare you call us stupid? We're the ones who said that we want him there. So explain yourself here.
Look, this is a problem right now. There's a dichotomy between what conservatives who are concerned about Donald Trump and whether his temperament and his policies are actually fit up with conservative ideology, and the folks who are enthusiastic about Donald Trump, who love his populism and his big showmanship and all those other things. They were sold the fact that Donald Trump would self-fund his campaign, that Donald Trump would always rise in the polls, that Donald Trump didn't need all the trappings of an ordinary campaign to beat Hillary Clinton. As horrible as Hillary Clinton is, she's running a mechanically correct campaign. She's doing all the things with data, with targeting, with field operations, with everything else that are required to get her elected as president. I'll give you an example. She's got 11 people in Florida just doing Puerto Rican voter outreach. Donald Trump has no one in Florida, the critical swing state in this election. Donald Trump can't just tweet his way to the White House. It doesn't work that way. As much as people dislike Hillary Clinton, and I am no fan of Hillary Clinton, she is mechanically doing the things that have to be done to win this race. Donald Trump is not. Last night was just an example of that. In a real presidential campaign, you staff up properly. You have people who vet speeches. You have people who research things. You have people who look at speeches and say, hey, by the way, This is exactly what Michelle Obama said in 2008, word for word in 2 big paragraphs of your speech. We should fix that. That's due diligence in a campaign. They think that they're immune to that, but they're not. And the fact of the matter is it's going to cost Donald Trump at the polls. And the folks that are Donald Trump fans actually shouldn't be mad at me. They should be mad at Donald Trump's campaign for not organizing properly, for not directing their candidate properly, for not vetting the things that come out of their candidate and their surrogates' mouths properly. Those folks believe that he's immune to all this political physics, and unfortunately no one is.
It is what I have said for a long time. Republicans should demand more in order to defeat Hillary Clinton. I got 60 seconds left. Interesting, the president, Barack Obama, wrote an open letter to law enforcement while he's coming under a lot of heavy criticism about his appeal and his comments about cops. At the end of the letter, he says, "We have your backs." Isn't it not fair to say, Rick, that from the cop, they want to say, okay, Mr. President, prove it?
I think that there is a responsibility Barack Obama bears to the law enforcement officers of this country to recognize that he has done things to empower the belief that cops are universally violent, corrupt, and racist that he should not have. I think that he has repeatedly inflected his speeches with, by the way, it's tragic these cops in Dallas died, but by the way, we have to talk about racist cops elsewhere. It's a difficult balancing test for any leader to not prejudge people in a case like this or in cases like this. But the fact of the matter is, he frequently seems, in the eyes of many Americans, to have prejudged the cops. And it's something that I think he's recognizing he has to fix this. And with the violence that's gone on against police officers in Dallas and Baton Rouge, and today apparently in Kansas City, I don't know the whole story there, but apparently a police chief was killed.
Police officer was shot and killed today in Kansas City, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he has got to take responsibility and lead on this thing. And, it would actually help the cause of people who want to stop violence by the police against African Americans and other folks if there was a perception that this was a level playing field and everybody was having the discussion at the same time, and not that there were 2 standards, and not that there was an instant presumption in either direction. The rule of law is vital in this country, and anybody that undermines it, whether it's Black Lives Matter undermining it, or the president, or rogue cops undermining it, it hurts our country as a whole, and we've got to address that.
Don't knee-jerk either way. Get the facts.
Right.
The column in the Hill, Trump and the Cult of Stupid. Republicans should read it. There you go. Rick Wilson, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
Sir.
We went a little long, real quick. Benita's in Shreveport, Louisiana. You've got a question about Megyn Kelly and Fox. 20 seconds. Go ahead.
Hello. Megyn Kelly is a lawyer. Why would she wait so many years to take offense at something she thinks was harassment?
It is a very good question. It's what a lot of people are asking right now. They want to know how she could just basically sit still and say absolutely nothing, which is why we still have to wait until the investigation is in. Thanks so much for your call. We apologize for the time, but we're running out short tonight because I also want to make sure to remind everybody, starting tomorrow night, 7 o'clock Eastern Time. We got the Hard Line at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Right afterwards, we're going to go into our special coverage. It begins and goes Wednesday and Thursday night from the Republican National Convention. Wednesday, 7 o'clock Eastern, right here. Stay with us because the Hard Line continues.